Rather lads, welcome back to Courses Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. We are back again this early morning with the Courses Arsenal morning show, where we discuss a couple of stories early in the morning regarding Arsenal Football Club. And of course, we get to pose a question on every Arsenal morning show. We get to pose a question about Arsenal, testing your knowledge about Arsenal. Yesterday, the quiz was in which year was Arsenal founded, and I'm really surprised that all of you gave me the same answer, and it was correct. It was absolutely correct. I think you guys really know about Arsenal. So, like I promised, every morning Arsenal show, I'll be reading comments of the previous quiz. Alexis Johnson, you said Arsenal was created in 1886, Woolwich, London, United Kingdom, and then took on the name the Royal Arsenal. Right? Devin Bonson said, "Oh, I missed this one, but better late than never. Arsenal was founded in 1886." Mohammed Hassan said 1886 as a mission workers and became professional in 1891. Then joined Football League in 1893. Great knowledge there. Godfrey says Arsenal was founded in 1886 and took the name Royal Arsenal. Godfrey Katumba says 1886. Edward says Arsenal was founded in 1886. Victor in the year 1886. And Ojo Emmanuel says the club was founded in the year 1986, really, and was called Royal Arsenal after their first game. It was not 19, it was 1886. Thanks everybody for getting part, getting part and involving yourselves in the quiz. Really, really interesting that many of you guys actually got the answer right. So the question in this video is, how many Premier League titles does Arsenal have? As simple as that. We won all of them under Arsene Wenger. I'm not really going to ask you the manager, because you know, but how many Premier League titles then do we have? If we want them under Arsene Wenger, how many do we have? I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a simple clue. We last won a Premier League in 2004. That is the season when we last won a Premier League. So how many did we win, or do we have all together? In the comment section, I need to know, how much do you know about Arsenal? And that is the question in today's morning Arsenal show. Let's get the party started. Right. To start the party, a couple of stories have actually come out and suggest that Gabriel Martinelli could go out on loan in January, and that has been downplayed by Mikel Arteta. And he said the player will not leave the club. The player will not go out, on loan, like it has been suggested on a couple of websites and on a couple of and by a couple of websites. So it looks like we've spoken about this. Gabriel is a little bit unsettled. We know that he is still in that still in that transition process from a teenager to really from teenager to what, to adult or to professional or anything. I think he's already professional, but he's facing that transition. In June last year, this year, sorry, he turned 20. That means he's become, now, all eyes on him now, right? He's 20. Saka is 20 as well. So they are in the same age bracket. He looks at Saka, is getting game time, match day in, match day out. He looks at him and, you've got to become envious. So there've been stories and there've been talk of him leaving the club in January to probably go and find some game time elsewhere. Something that I absolutely do not agree with, because the last time I saw the likes of Guendouzi go out on game time, we fucking saw them. So I really do not want to see, sorry for that, sorry for the language, I really don't want to see Gabriel Martinelli. And Mikel says Gabriel will not leave the club in January. He will stay. But for me, that poses a big transfer scare. If at this moment, by this time, we've started fighting on whether we keep him out of of going on loan. That shows that there is interest from the players camp. There is interest from the player to go out on loan and probably try to prove something that he deserves playing time. And I absolutely think and respect his decision. He deserves the playing time. Us to just need to find where he plays. But Gabriel Martinelli, you have that simple transfer scare, but he's not going to leave this January. That's according to Mikel Arteta. Now, Raheem Sterling has come out and blown the cover. Look, I love players who blow the cover. I just love it when things are so open. So Raheem Sterling, there've been a couple of reports linking him with Arsenal and a couple of other clubs, but then it was more like, will he ever leave Manchester City? It looks like a ceiling for him is English, yes. And after leaving Manchester City as an English, a professional footballer, one of the best. Where do you go? Very, very good player. Because if you look at his statistics, in the past 5 seasons, actually the past 4 seasons, he's recorded double figures in all those seasons, and that shows you how much of an improved player he has been under Pep Guardiola. But Raheem Sterling was speaking to the Guardian, and he said, yes, there was an option to go. If there was an option to go somewhere else for more game time, I would be open to it. All I know is the Premier League, and I've always thought maybe one day I would love to play abroad and see how I would I would come up against that challenge. Of course, there's that is Raheem Sterling, and he said, look, he thinks if he leaves his career behind with Manchester City, he wants to go abroad. Totally understood. I understand. We understand you, bro. It's gonna be very hard for you to find where you play football in the Premier League. Oh no, Newcastle. He probably could go to Newcastle. But in his interview, one of the things he points out is game time, and he says, for me, he says, and I quote, "I am not happy when I'm not playing football. I need to be happy, and to be happy, I need to be playing games, and I need to be scoring goals." So it is. Look, it is Pep Guardiola that has made him the man we know, right? It is Pep Guardiola that has made him the fantastic striker we know, the fantastic goal poacher we know, the fantastic wicker we know. But look, no offenses, he's not getting game time, and that is absolutely explainable and understood. You have Jack Grealish and Phil Foden that are coming up. They're the future. So you've got to trust them. You've got to give them the game time in order to tell them, you are the future. We trust you. You better do this thing right. So at the end of the day, however much I love Raheem Sterling, I think his time at Manchester City could as well be as good as over. Now, does this put us in pole position to sign him? No, because he's just 27. His contract is running down. He's going to be very cheap in the summer. He's a very good player. You could see him at Barcelona. You could see him at Real Madrid. You could see him at Atletico Madrid. You could see him at Juve. You could see him at PSG. You could see him at Newcastle because they've got the money now. Look, not in any way, shape, or form am I trying to humble Arsenal's ambitions, by poaching and getting good players. But I don't see us doing this one. I don't see us getting this one over the line. But he's free, and he's come out and said he wants to leave. He wants to transfer. Is it to Arsenal? Then I do not actually know. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is still speaking about players that want to get game time and play, anywhere else. The difference between the two, Chamberlain wants to come back to play, Arsenal. He's open to the idea of playing for Arsenal, and he wants to play for Arsenal Football Club. But Raheem Sterling does not, and Raheem Sterling's motive is to play in the World Cup 2022 in Qatar. What that means is you've got to play football regularly. And I'm going to say that with sparking fingers, you've got to play football more regularly, right? So Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, does he have chances to play to represent England? I doubt if they are there. They're so minimal, and I think it's not really trying to chase that. Look, every player tries to do that. You don't just throw the opportunity away. It's like it's not a clean slate, because the likes of Saka, Foden, Grealish have already written something. Have already written something on their on the slate about being the starters. In the final squad that represents England in the Euros. But with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, we've seen the likes of Lingard. Lingard coming out and just blowing it at West Ham on loan last season. And you know what? Southgate is impressed. He takes him. He doesn't really take him for the Euros, does he? Really can't remember. But he does. Actually, he doesn't take him for the Euros. But he's been more involved in England's national friendlies, World Cup qualifiers, and them games. So that shows you that maybe Chamberlain still thinks about the same thing. Look, I could play for England. Southgate could take me. Right, I could replace Jadon Nelson. I could replace Calvin Phillips. I'm a good central midfielder. I could play as a winger as well. I'm that versatile. Probably I could, I could have a chance. So he still thinks about that, that chance. Of playing for Arsenal. Of playing for England in Qatar. Now to do that, Chamberlain needs game time, and he's very open to the idea of playing for Arsenal Football Club. I think it's one reason that could lead Raheem Sterling to a club like Arsenal. Look, you want game time? We got you covered. Come and join us. It's gonna be a wonderful party. Come and join us. Chambelain, Arsenal is interested. We know that. Probably a 6-month loan deal in January, and probably making it permanent in the summer. He's really injury prone. I don't see how Arsenal are helping with the injury crisis by bringing in an injury prone fellow. I don't see, but. That is Arsenal. Smash a like on the video. The question for today is, how many Premier League titles did Arsenal win under Arsene Wenger? He is the only manager that has Premier League titles for Arsenal. So how many Premier League titles does he have, and how many Premier League titles has Arsenal got in total? I'll speak to you very soon. Look, this has been more like the morning Arsenal show and Arsenal news. I will do an Arsenal preview later on. Predicted lineup. I think today is Friday. What should we go for? We should go for. I think we should go for an Arsenal preview, right? Just yesterday we did the Crystal Palace preview. Today we should do the team news and the preview, and probably tomorrow. We put out the predicted lineup because it's Monday, so the predicted lineup could come on Saturday or Sunday. So I'll draw the line tomorrow. Predicted lineup today. The Arsenal preview. What we need to do and how we need to set out against Crystal Palace. What exactly do we need to do? And probably on Monday we'll have the watch along live. Smash a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel. My name is Kosi. Love you always. And I'll speak to you very soon.